Good morning, Cedars Church family. Coming at you again today with another word of encouragement. When my oldest son was about 3 years old, I had him sitting there at the dinner table, and I set in front of him a bowl of this brown, sludgy goo. And I told him to take a bite, and he said no. And I kept telling him, come on, take a bite, you'll love it, you'll love it. No, he kept saying. So I did what any good father would do. I walked around behind him and I put him in an arm lock and I grabbed a spoonful of chocolate pudding and I crammed it into his mouth. Well, as soon as I got that chocolate pudding in his mouth, he realized what was actually happening here and he said, "Oh," and he started liking exactly what I was giving to him. In Matthew chapter 7, verse 9, Jesus says, "Which of you, if his son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, though we're not perfect like God is, if you know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts?" Well, here we are on quarantine. We're spending another day at home. Some of us are trying to figure out how we're going to make ends meet. It sure feels like I'm asking for bread and getting a stone. And I'm trying to figure out how is God, what exactly is God doing? How is He trying to give me something good when it seems like I've got a whole lot less, or I'm really out of sorts with what's actually happening here? Well, Isaiah 55 verse 8, God says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." We don't know exactly what God has planned for each and every one of us through this situation that we're in. But one thing that we do know is that God uses every situation that we're in, every single thing that we deal with, to help us to grow, to help us to mature, to help us to trust Him, to help us to lean on Him, to look to Him for our strength, to look to Him for all that we need. In the Lord's Prayer, He tells us to ask, "Give us today our daily bread." He will give us what we need each day to survive. He'll give us what we need, and He will show us that we can trust Him. Many of us have been in some difficult situations before, and I've said it before, you're still here. If you're listening, you're still here. So He will see you through this, and it might be hard. He might be teaching you patience. He might be teaching you perseverance. He might be teaching you gentleness. He might be teaching you forgiveness. He might be teaching you compassion. I don't know what He's teaching you. He's been teaching me a whole lot of all of those things. And He's teaching me trust too. So carry that one with you today. Look to Him to be your provider. He asks us to call to Him. I can tell you this, He already knows what you need. So go to Him in prayer, and ask Him and tell Him what you need. He already knows. God bless you guys. Have yourselves a great day. Stay dry, and remember, you are loved.